Hey everybody, it's Agent, and in front of me today I have Dinobot Swoop, which I am quite excited that they actually got the name Swoop back. For a long time they had it as Strafe. So Hasbro did good by me, and they got the original name back. And other things about him, I mean, he does a really good job of looking like the original Swoop, as you can see. But let's look at the package before I get into any of that. So here he is. There's a picture of that. It says Dinobot Swoop, ages 8+, Power of the Primes. Last video I mentioned how cheesy the top read was, and as you can see, yeah, pretty cheesy. It does have him in the product shots, and if you notice, his chest is red in here. And it's red over here, and it's red down here, and he's blue. So just like in the animation, one was blue and one was red. It kind of looks, I kind of like the way it looks in the red, though. I will say I like the way it looks in red. But he does transform in 11 steps, and he's also got his prime armor as well. So, enough of that. He also comes with a card, which is right there. As you see, it's that same artwork. In this one, his body is blue, but as you can see, Dinobot Swoop, some good artwork. And then if you look on the back, it says Gamios Swoop. I don't know, whatever. We also have takes the form that strikes the most fear in enemies. So, really nice card. Anyways, moving on to the figure himself. Okay, so here we have Swoop, which he's a very nice figure. I very much so like him. He looks a lot like the original. I don't know if anybody remembers the original, but he pretty much transforms the exact same way. His head goes down into the chest, the legs swoop around to the back. So pretty similar. But yeah, I like him. He's a good guy. He's got some articulation in his pterodactyl mode. So his wings can go up and down, and they can flap if you want them to. So you can get in a good flight pose. His head will go like that, and his mouth will open, so that way you can have flying poses. His feet, like this, you can move them down, move them all the way, so if he's flying, they're down. Otherwise, you can put him up like that and put his head back down so he can sit there. So that's the articulation with that. On his back, I have his prime armor that just tabs in on these two pegs right here, and goes into those slots there. So there's his prime armor. Also on his back, he's got a couple pegs that you can take and plug your Power Master, Titan Masters into. He's got some there, and he's got this one here, and he's got this one here, and he's got one here, and he's got one up here, and he's got same thing over here on those ones. So there's things you can do with them if you want him flying and having people on his back. Yes, my one thing is his pterodactyl head doesn't stay up very well, so if I went to move the mouth open, which is actually quite difficult. Oh, come on. There we go. His head usually pops down when I do that. But as you can see on his face, he's got that nice almost G1 look with the clear and the gold, and all that is clear plastic with gold painted on the inside. So very nice, very nicely done indeed. He also has an accessory, a sword, that plugs into the bottom there, so when he's flying around he can fly around with his sword hanging off the bottom of his head. I also found that there's 2 holes right here that you can plug that in. You can plug that into right there. So if you got him just kind of hanging out like this, you can have it. I mean, the instructions don't say anything about that, so I doubt it's what it's for, but I found that it fits and it works. So yeah, there he is. Moving on to transformation. I mean, super simple, 11 steps. Take the legs, move them forward. Take these legs, pull them out and down. Take his feet, pull them out, spread the legs. Right here, you can pull his arms out, get his hands folded out, give a twist at the upper arm, and then you just move the pterodactyl face down. And as for the wings, you can straighten them out if you want. On the back here, as you can see, they go up and down. They can go back, they can go forward, which comes into when his combiner port comes out. So you can do that, that, or you can just have them facing back. Whatever you want to do, it's yours. You can do that any way you want. So there we go. There he is, and you know, he still does a really great job of looking like the G1 Swoop, and I quite like it. In fact, this is the one guy I think I was really looking forward to getting out of this set, out of all the Dinobots, really, because I've never had a Swoop and I've always wanted a Swoop, so now I have a Swoop and I'm happy. Articulation wise, his head, it rotates like that. I can't tell if it's a ball joint or if it's a peg. Don't think it's a peg. I actually think it's a ball joint, but it doesn't really move around too much in there. As for his arms, we're going to move these back into that position. His arms go out, and if it wasn't for the wings, they would go all the way around. But because this part of the wing only moves up and down, they get in the way. He also has that upper arm rotation, and he's got an elbow, which is about a 90. Yeah, about 90. And then he got his legs, which go all the way up to there. And they go all the way back to there. And he's got an upper leg rotation. And he's also got a knee rotation. So, he does have other things that he can do. I'm sure you notice there's a hinge right there. But really what that's for is when you want to turn him into like a leg, which because he's a combiner. They turned him into combiners this time around. So when you turn him into a leg, you will transform him. But we will take care of all of that in the future. Because I do have Grimlock on his way, and then shortly after I do a video on him, I'm hoping the other 2 Dinobots come out, and we can get that taken care of, and we can see Volcanicus. Anyways, moving along. Here's his sword. It's clear plastic, painted with red on the top, which, you know, it's really nice, and I like that. And that just goes in there, like so. And he has a sword. You can also take his prime armor, which I went over this with the last guy, but this little plastic piece can come out, and that can be used as a gun if you wish, or not. But you also have this gaping hole, which comes in place with the Prime Masters or Power Cores. You basically just take them and slide them in, and yes, they are exactly the same as a Headmaster or a Titan Master, and they go in there like that, except a face you'll have a design. So we'll take that out. We will move this back in there the way it's supposed to go. And this will actually go on his chest in bot form. What you do is you rotate that around, and you make sure this peg is up in the front right there. And as you can see, there's a tab and a tab. And let's get around to the side of his pterodactyl head. You can see there's a hole and one on the other side. So get one, line it up, get it in there, squeeze, and there's his prime armor. Yes, prime armor, And for somebody that was very stable before, he's having issues with that on him, because as you can see, it basically just puts like this giant should-be backpack on the front. We'll see how they come into play. But this can also be a hand, which you just slide that out, and there's the fingers, and then you got your thumb. So it can either be a left hand or a right hand for when we get the rest of the Dinobots. But for the time being, it is just going to be that. And this can also go on his back, if I remember right. There, you can go like that. And there's a tab there, and they just slide right into the other pegs, which I'll show you again. There's 2 sets on the back. So this is the set that this peg goes into when you're going into pterodactyl, and then there's this set which that clips into right there. So there he has a backpack, and it does kind of look like a jet pack a little bit. So there we go. Perfect. I like it like that because it's not too back heavy either. It kind of adds a little beef because he's kind of thin. So all right, there he is. Maybe I'll do a size comparison with him. Who do I have? I gotta have somebody close by. Well, there is a deluxe class breakaway right here, so he is right there. So 2 deluxes, and then who else might I have? I have a leader class from the Titans Return line, so you can see where they stand. And I think I'll also do a Voyager class, because Grimlock is going to be a Voyager class, and that will kind of give you an idea of how he will size with Grimlock. And we have Alpha Trion. So take him away, and there we go. So I got mine at Target. They're not supposed to be out right now. They've got some pre-release going on, and if you want them, you have to go to Target and give them the DPC code for it. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to find it in the back room. So if you want to try to get one, some of the Targets have them. You just go there, find the DPCs online, and ask the guy in the back, and if he's cool, he'll get it for you. Which I had a very cool guy today. He got me all 4 of them that they had. So other than that, if you like what you watch, make sure you subscribe, click the like, because it'll take goes a long way for me and helps me out. Also hit the bell, and that way you get future notifications when other videos come out, which I have quite a few coming out, hopefully this week. I'm planning on getting all these Power of the Prime figures done. So until next time.